Hello, I'm the Reverend Will Newman from St John's Cathedral, and I'd like to introduce the Lent book for 2022 for the Anglican Church of Hong Kong. The title of the book is The Way of Love, Turn. It comes from the Episcopal Church of the USA and from the presiding Bishop Michael Curry. If you watched the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan a few years ago, you will most likely remember the powerful American preacher who spoke about love. That was Bishop Curry. In 2018, Bishop Curry called the Church to practice the way of love, to grow more deeply with Jesus Christ at the centre of our lives, so we can bear witness to his way of love in and for the world. The first way we can practice following the way of love is to turn, and that's what gives the book and our Lent course the title, The Way of Love, Turn. There are 5 chapters in the book, so it fits perfectly into the season of Lent. Today I'll talk about chapter 1, entitled, What Does It Mean to Turn? With God's help, we can turn away from sin and turn towards truth. Turn away from hatred towards love. Turn away from fear towards hope. Turn away from injustice to justice. Turn away from oppression towards freedom. How can Christians begin to turn and reorient our lives towards Christ? By remembering our baptism. This chapter of the book explores 3 renunciations and 3 adherences that we, or if we were infants, our parents and godparents, made at our baptism. In the Anglican Church of Hong Kong, the words are not exactly the same as in the Episcopal Church of the USA and in the book we're studying, but the meaning is the same. Our 3 renunciations are all renouncing and turning away from evil. In so doing, we acknowledge the influence that evil has over us, and we make a declaration that, with God's help, we will refuse to follow, obey, or be influenced by evil. Evil is a power or influence that estranges us from God. The good that God desires is that we use our free will to experience healthy relationships with God, ourselves, other people, and creation. Evil would have us misuse or abuse our free will and disrupt or destroy those relationships. There's a difference between sin and sins. Sins, plural, are actions that are against God's will. Sin, singular, is the tendency to act in ways that are harmful to our relationships. So sin is not so much about right and wrong, it's more about the quality of our relationships and what kind of person we are. After turning away from evil, we turn to 3 adherences. In the words of the baptism service, we turn to Christ as Saviour, affirming that Jesus Christ is the one who can save us from the influence of evil and sin. Next, we submit to Christ as Lord. John Westerhoff compares this with floating. Most of us are not good at floating, either physically or metaphorically. Floating requires us to let go and give up control. Floating is cooperating with the water, trusting the water. Submitting to Christ is a kind of floating, where we neither strive to be in control, nor let ourselves drown again in sin. Instead, we learn to let go and trust God. The 3rd adherence is to come to Christ, who is the way, the truth, and the life. And when we do that, we are observing Jesus' character and behaviour and imitating him. The chapter ends with 2 questions for discussion. What practices help you to turn again and again to Jesus Christ and the way of love? Do you find the analogy of floating helpful to you in putting your trust in God's care and abiding love?